Hi, ladies and gentlemen, how are you? Good morning to you all. I've tried to make use of Teams to no avail. It was useless, a very bad connection. So I'm here trying to record something in advance for you, and in the 3 minutes that you will find in Teams, I was talking about the fact that you should send me copies of your work while you also send to Mr. Muhammad and Ms. Rehab, so they can both work with us, correcting and editing and guiding you through the speaking process, whether you have drills or exercises or assignments or tasks or anything relating to the homework that I assign you in this lecture. Please do that. Send me a copy and of the same assignments that you send them, and do attend their sessions because they are as important as the ones we have together here in our recorded lectures, whether in Teams or on YouTube. Always check my YouTube channel and also the university website for links to the videos that are recorded beforehand. Today I have this lesson, which is homeschooling teachers view. Homeschooling teachers view, and by way of explanation at the beginning, before explaining everything, this is how it looks like. What is homeschooling? It's not sending your children to school, but teaching them at home. As simply as that. They stay at home, they work on their own. Perhaps you could bring teachers to them, but they don't go to school, which is the main difference between regular education, where students go regularly to schools, and homeschooling, where parents take care of their children inside their own homes, and they can also have their exams until the final year of the high school stage, when they have to take the exam at school. But other than that, everything takes place at home, from home, and this is very close to what we are doing now. Even lectures are at home, teachers joining classes with students in an online manner or process. So homeschooling looks quite similar to online lectures. I will play the audio, which you can find the audio here. It's there on Teams Homeschooling Teachers View. Just clicking on it this way helps you to start playing it like that. I've already prepared it with the current recording, so let me start playing it for you. Teacher's view. While playing the audio, you will kindly follow as we did in class. You will follow everything in the book itself. I'll play from the start once again.
So thinking about your future, would you have your kids homeschooled? Would you homeschool themselves, or do you think that it's better for them to go to a normal school? What would you do? So thinking about your future, would you have your kids homeschooled? Would you homeschool themselves, or do you think that it's better for them to go to a normal school? What would you do?
I used to say that I didn't know. But then I got my undergrad degree in elementary education, and I had a chance to teach in public school. And that's when I decided, yes, absolutely, I would homeschool my own children.
What was the main reason coming to that decision?
The main reason was the wasted time that I saw. And also there were so many children in one classroom. It was really hard to get them all to focus and pay attention at the same time. It's nearly impossible. So if I could provide my child with one-on-one attention, I feel like they would learn more. There'd be less wasted time.
Right. So homeschooling.
نعم شوية عند الحتة دي معلش. What was the main reason for you to come to that decision. So if we have a question here which you have to prepare for the exam, it would be this one. Why has she chosen homeschooling? She offered a reason here. It was the wasted time. So if I were in your place, I would do something of the sort, highlighting the most important part of the sentence, which could be the answer to the question raised above, right? And don't forget, of course, the things that are written in bold like this, which you need to understand very well, so you can provide an equivalent for every one of them. This is slide 77. Let's complete the lesson.
Helps with using time productively, I guess.
I would say so, yes.
Right.
And now that I have the degree as well in elementary education, I feel like I'm equipped to be able to do it if I needed to.
Right. Do you think there are any disadvantages to homeschooling?
Probably the number one disadvantage that most people see with homeschooling.
Now we move to another thing, which is the disadvantages. Alright, so you have to think of the matter in terms of advantages and disadvantages. What are the advantages of homeschooling and what are the disadvantages? Gathering from what you understand in this lesson or in these slides. So we could say something like this. What are the advantages and disadvantages of homeschooling, if any? For example, you avoiding the waste of time. That could be, of course, an advantage. If he goes to school and takes the bus, for example, and stays a very long time at school, this is a waste of time. And another point that is going to be mentioned here in this lesson is the fact that social gatherings or socializing or getting in touch with others, this is a disadvantage because he stays at home and does not mix with people, and that could be a real problem for educators and for parents indeed. So I would like you to organize your ideas around certain issues and certain topics. Okay? One second, please. Okay.
Is the social aspect, and this can be a big deal. It can be very hard, especially with sports. If your child wants to play on a sports team, often it's hard to get them in on a team at a regular school. Sometimes there's community groups, but definitely the social aspect is the hardest need to meet with homeschooling.
For homeschooling, what kind of exams or tests are there to make sure that children pass the grade that they're in?
I'm not sure what it's like in all countries, but I know in the U.S. you take the end of year state testing that everyone does. So it's mailed to your house and your parents give you the test and the results are sent back to you.
Okay. So it's all standardized and everybody goes through the same test?
Yes.
Right.
And then when it comes time to take the SAT or the end of high school test, then you can actually go and take them at a public school with everyone else. They'll allow you to do that.
Okay.
I'm very sorry, the slides do not cover the whole lesson, so I would play back from that part with which we closed. Okay. Here.
Or the end of high school test, then you can actually go and take them at a public school with everyone else. They'll allow you to do that.
Okay. When you arrived in college, did you notice any differences between the education you had and the education other kids had, not having gone through homeschooling?
It was that part about the exam being sent to your home and your parents supervising, like what we are witnessing these days. Okay, so you take the end of the year state testing that everyone does. This is in the final year, but other than that, you have the exams at home. It's all standardized. That is to say, everybody goes through the same test. And the word standardized is on page 49 at the bottom, which we are going to use. I mean the book itself, the textbook, starting from page 15. Sarah is talking and Peter is asking her questions and she is responding. And then when it comes to the time that you have to take the SAT, this is what she is going to say here.
So thinking of
that everyone does. So it's mailed to your house and your parents give you the test and then the results are sent back to you.
Okay. So it's all standardized and everybody goes through the same test.
Yes.
Right.
And then when it comes time to take the SAT or the end of high school test, then you can actually go and take them at a public school with everyone else. They'll allow you to do that.
Okay. When you arrived in college, did you notice any differences between the education you had and the education other kids had, not having gone through homeschooling?
The main difference I saw was the social aspect. There were many things, sort of culturally almost, that I didn't know, that I was sheltered from. Just things and sayings and popular things that happen in school that I had no clue about. It's almost a completely different culture than what I was raised in. So that was very different. And also I saw a difference in, it was really hard for me to learn with someone lecturing because I was so used to learning everything out of a book, reading it for myself. And so to have to listen and take notes was a big struggle for me.
Really?
Yes.
But it sounds like you ended up being quite a self-driven and self-disciplined learner if you'd gone through the textbooks yourself.
Yes, I think you really can't help but be if you are homeschooled.
Right.
So, yeah.
Thank you very much. It was really interesting.
Absolutely.
And this is the end of the recording, and let's go back a little bit to the start. As I said, you have to organize your ideas and thoughts around certain issues so you could grasp the whole thing. And here, for example, like undergrad degree is a word that refers to undergraduate degree, but this is the way it is said in spoken English. I used to say that I didn't know, but then I got my undergrad degree and elementary education, and I had a chance to teach in public school. So she's saying this out of her own experience. She knows what she is saying, and she's not just telling us unreal things that do not have a basis in reality. Alright, and the word undergrad, as you can guess, is short for undergraduate in spoken English. Look at homeschooled kids that are homeschooled. The word school itself is a noun and it is given an ed, treated as a verb. What was the main reason coming to that decision? And yet to teach her children at home, as we began to understand, because of the wasted time spent at school coming and going. So if I could provide my child with one-on-one attention, here goes the vocabulary section on page 51. One-on-one attention, the attention that is given from one person to another. So you have, let's say, the father teaching, the mother teaching, or even a single person like a teacher teaching your child. So the amount of attention that the child gets is maximized, and it is different, of course, from when the child is among other children at school. Productively, fruitfully, greatly. Do you understand? Homeschooling helps with using time in a productive way, in an effective way, and then I'm equipped to be able to do it if I needed to. I'm equipped, I'm armed, I have the means, I have the equipment, I'm prepared. نقدر نقول كده. Disadvantages, زي ما احنا قلنا من شوية, we have to understand the advantages and disadvantages of home schooling. Probably the number one, talking about the disadvantage number one, اللي هو the social aspect, and I've explained it already. No socializing if you are at home. Standardized, unified, you find it everywhere. This is the end of the slides, but let's go on with the book, page 51. Sheltered from. I was sheltered from many things. That is to say, I was protected. اللي هو at the bottom, the one before last. Sheltered from means protected from. In the house, they were sheltered from the storm. The child was sheltered from violent television by his mother. Protected, he avoided all that through his mother. Self-driven, self-motivated, getting power from yourself and not from the outside sources, and this is what happens when you receive homeschool education. Like the examples, he was self-driven when it came to training. I'm a self-driven learner. I'm a self-driven student. I'm a self-driven mother, self-driven teacher, and so on. You have questions at the end on page 52 that you must answer and send back to me. I will correct them and tell you if they are fine or not. Thank you so much for today's lecture, and I'll see you on another session, and I will be telling you which lesson to prepare for next time. As for the booklet, this time, inshallah, we have to work on this. Page 35 in the booklet, topic number 220, which is opposite to the one that I gave you before. Remember the topic which says what are some of the things that you wanted to accomplish before you die. Here, what are some of the goals you have failed to accomplish? What are the things that you dreamt of or planned to do and then failed to achieve? Write on this, not writing an essay actually, but writing a conversation, working with your friends as we agreed before. Thank you very much, and see you next time, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.